How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the Green New Deal, or the Green Dream, as Nancy Pelosi so eloquently put it. This has been around actually for quite a while, if I'm not mistaken, because remember Jill Stein of the Green Party? She ran on a Green New Deal 2 times, starting back in at least 2012. So you're talking about almost a decade ago of this particular thing. Now, I was reading somewhere that AOC did not want to call it the Green New Deal, but it just kind of was getting traction like that, and they ran with it. But once you read both of the deals, they look pretty much exactly the same. So I don't know who came up with it first. I doubt it was AOC or Jill Stein. It was probably some bigwig political group that got a bunch of lawyers that wrote a 14-page document of lawyer speak. Now, this will not be a binding deal. It'll be just a set of guidelines, but you know how they do. They'll use these so-called guidelines and lawsuits and other laws that they try to pass. But let's get into the article to see what it says, to see exactly what's going on with this Green New Deal and what's in it. And the article reads, in what may be the most far-reaching proposal ever to be considered in Congress, Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat from New York, unveiled her, in quotation marks, Green New Deal on Thursday, a government-led overhaul of virtually every aspect of American life that will guarantee a host of taxpayer-covered benefits for all and phase out fossil fuels. Along the way, her office says the plan will aim to make air travel obsolete. So no more airplanes. I don't know how we're going to get from point A to point B if you're traveling overseas. Like if you go from New York to London a lot, what are you going to do? Get in a boat like they did back in the 1600s? I'm not really sure, but let's keep going. Upgrade or replace every building in America to ensure energy efficiency and give economic security even to those unwilling to work. Now, what does it mean to be energy efficient? And you're going to replace every building? Does that mean people's houses too? How are you really going to do that? And why would you give economic security to people who don't want to work? Like, it's one thing to say, you know, I have a disability or I can't find a job. To say you don't want to work and just you should get money regardless, that's really crazy, but let's keep going. Quote, today is the day that we truly embark on a comprehensive agenda of economic, social, and racial justice in the U.S. of A., she said alongside Senator Ed Markey, Democrat from Massachusetts, and other lawmakers outside the Capitol. That's what this agenda is all about. And by the way, this Green New Deal has widespread support from Democrats, including presidential hopefuls, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Tulsi Gabbard, and Pocahontas. They're pretty much all on board, but let's keep going. And you see the tweets right here from Cory and Monica Lewinsky, Kamala Harris. While the resolution itself would do very little because it is non-binding, it is the first time the policy proposal has been formally outlined in Congress. The resolution says, quote, a new national social, industrial, and economic mobilization on a scale not seen since World War II and the New Deal is an opportunity to tackle systemic injustices toward minority groups, create millions of high-wage jobs, and provide unprecedented levels of prosperity and economic security for all people of the U.S. Now, one thing that I saw in Jill Stein's version of this, which is pretty much the same, is that they're going to have a job pool. And from the job pool, every citizen will be able to get a job regardless. And the money would come from the federal government. That sounds like communism to me, because everybody had a job, right? You know, you can be the official lint picker outer of somebody's coat in Congress. That can be your job. And you can get paid a fair and living wage. How much does living wage pay? I don't even really know. I don't even want to go down that road because that's pretty deep, but I'll leave that right there for now and get back to the article. Its proposals include, quote, net zero greenhouse gas emissions through a fair and just transition for all communities and workers, job creation, infrastructure investment, guarantees of clean water, healthy food, and sustainable environment, and a curiously undefined access to nature. What does that mean? Can you not go outside and just be in nature? I don't really understand what that means. It's a lot of just ambiguous stuff all in this particular bill, guideline list, socialist wish list, whatever they want to call it, whatever it actually is. Back to the article. Beyond those broad proposals, the plan and accompanying documents from Ocasio-Cortez include a range of far-fetched goals and drew swift scorn from Republicans and other critics. The RNC dubbed it a socialist wish list that will kill at least 1 million jobs and disrupt global trade. That is correct, right? Here's a tweet from the GOP. One thing to look out for here is the second point that says it would eliminate fossil fuels completely, which would eliminate at least 1 million jobs. That is correct. I mean, you got truckers, you got people that deliver things on planes. You have people that, I mean, you got the power industry. How are you going to have electricity to come to your house and be on all the time when you need it? That's fossil fuels right there. I mean, hydroelectric and wind can only do so much. Even in Germany, where they tried to have the zero carbon emission from power, it just couldn't do it. The hydroelectric and the wind wasn't enough. They had to go back to coal as their primary source of it. You can have hydroelectric and wind as part of your energy grid, but it can't be the only thing you have. It's just not feasible at this point in time. And it definitely won't be feasible by 2030 when they're trying to implement this whole thing. But let's keep going. The resolution, for instance, includes a proposal to, quote, upgrade all existing buildings in the country in order to achieve energy efficiency, safety, affordability, durability, and comfort. I mean, it sounds so beautiful if you just are a child and you still believe in Santa Claus and stuff like that. But as adults, I mean, come on, we understand reality for what it is. But back to it. The resolution also backs the concept of high-speed rail as a proposal to reduce carbon emission. But the FAQ goes so far as to urge that development at a scale where air travel stops becoming necessary. So I guess your high-speed rail would totally eliminate the need to go from the United States of America to, I don't know, China, UK, Africa. I mean, and high-speed rail, you can only move so many people so fast on that. It's really just kind of silly at the end of the day. It also promises, quote, economic security for all who are unable or unwilling to work. What constitutes economic security is not clear, but the plan does call for programs including a federal job guarantee, universal health care, and affordable, safe, and adequate housing. That goes back to what I said earlier about the so-called job pool that was in Jill Stein's plan. It seems like this is the exact same thing, just rebranded under AOC. But let's keep going. The FAQ also notes that it has a goal of net zero rather than zero emissions in 10 years because we aren't sure that we'll be able to get rid of all farting cows and airplanes that fast. One more time. Because we aren't sure that we'll be able to get rid of farting cows and airplanes that fast. So, I mean, all right, your solution for the airplanes was high-speed rail, right? But what about the cows? I mean, what you going to put a fart filter on the back of the cow, on the hind part of the cow? I mean, this is just really silly at the end of the day. I don't know how anybody is taking this seriously. Now, that particular piece was removed from the website, but it's there. It was reported on by mainstream leftist media, so it's not a hoax or anything like that, but let's keep rocking. However, the push is likely to see resistance not only from Republicans, but even some Democrats. Senator Mazer Hirono from Hawaii was asked about the plan to replace planes with high-speed rail and did not seem impressed. That would be pretty hard for Hawaii, she laughed. Exactly. You're talking about an island in the Pacific Ocean. How are you going to get to America? What you going to build a plane? What you going to build a high-speed rail from Honolulu to San Francisco? How are you going to do that over water? But let's keep going. On Wednesday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi appeared to dismiss the plan. Quote, it would be one of or several or maybe many suggestions that we receive, Pelosi told Politico on Wednesday. That green dream or whatever they call it, nobody knows what it is, but they're for it, right? Nancy Pelosi is a mess. She's speaking a lot and she's really incoherent a lot of times when she speaks, but that's a different story. I'll leave that right there for now. I think that's pretty much a wrap for that article. You can check out the entire thing in the box below. Also, I'll put the full text of the Green New Deal from AOC in the box, also the one from Jill Stein. You can compare them and see how similar or dissimilar they are. This is just really silly. a bunch of socialist stuff. It's really just a way for communism to come into the country, and it's like a soft kind of way. You see her face, and it's like people say that she's kind of innocent, like a little girl or whatever, but no. You're talking about communism. I saw her before talking about wearing a uniform and how good it is and how it keeps you focused. That's commie talk right there, honestly, because that's what they did. They would put their people in uniforms, or they wear the same thing all the time. Kim Jong-un, look at him, uniform. That's what that is. I can understand people in the military, stuff like that. That's one thing, but regular citizens, regular normies wearing a uniform. See, now you're talking commie talk. And this right here is the exact same thing that the uniform talk is. It's a soft way of introducing communism to the country, and we definitely don't need that. And my question would be, as I close, who wrote this? I know AOC is not a lawyer. She did not write this 14-page lawyer speak document, and it was already out long before she came into the picture. Jill Stein was running on it back in 2012. So my question would be, did Jill Stein write it? I doubt it. She's probably not a lawyer either. Maybe she is, but I don't think she is. Either way it goes, I don't think she wrote it. Who did write it, and what are their actual motives? I don't really know, but the cows are going to continue to fart. The planes are going to continue to fly. And this particular bill, guideline list, or whatever will not get off the ground in any serious way. So what do you think? Do you think that the Green New Deal is something that we need in the country? We need to have these jobs that will come from nowhere, that'll be funded by the federal government. We should pay people a UBI. Basically, that's what that was. We should pay people a UBI just because they're citizens and, no other reason, even those that are unwilling to work. What about all these guarantees and the racial stuff? Where did the racial stuff even come from? I was looking at the Green New Deal. I'm thinking about the environment, not, reparations for slavery and stuff like that. What are we really talking about here? Does this have any legs? Does it not? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.